Are you highly sensitive? Do you have intense emotional reactions in your day-to-day relationships and life? Well, if so, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, emotions are the vibrancy of our life. They're what add the aliveness to our living. However, that being said, we need to be able to regulate them a little bit rather than letting them impose on our lives and control all of our behaviors. And when we're not fully aware of our internal experience, that will tend to happen for multiple reasons. Partly because we may have experienced trauma in our past that we have never really dealt with, and consequently we are projecting those emotional reactions onto our day-to-day life and having really intense emotional reactions that aren't necessary. Likewise, if we were never taught how to express our emotions healthily, we don't tend to be able to cope with the very physical, somatic experience that goes on when our emotional experience is quite intense, such as when we feel anger or shame, or when we feel like we are being belittled or ridiculed. And so we tend to be a little bit all over the place. Our reactions tend to be quite overt, and we're not really in control of what it is that's going on. So what we need to do is learn how to be discerning with our emotional experience, with our internal experience, with our thoughts. And this is a skill. It's not something that you're meant to be born with. We could all do with a little help. However, it's important to recognize the difference between discernment, which is recognition non-judgmentally of what's going on inside of us, and judgment, because a lot of people, when they start putting this practice into place, they notice themselves feeling something, or they notice a thought going on in their minds, and they automatically go to judge it. Likewise, they notice something going on in their lives, and again that judgment side comes out straight away. So it's about being able to be very objective, to recognize what it is that's going on, but not to see it as either good nor bad, just recognizing it for what it actually is. And the more you can learn to do this, the less likely you are to be influenced by external circumstances, because you'll understand that an awful lot of the thoughts and emotional reactions that you're having are actually conditioning from your past, or maybe the result of some sort of unresolved trauma from your past, or even just the fact that you were never given the skills for emotional resilience and emotional regulation when you were growing up. And that's okay, most of us weren't. However, that being said, it is an essential tool if you want to get the best from your relationships, get the best from your day-to-day life. So learning how to take a step back, be objective, be very discerning about what's going on inside of you, to slow things down, to create self-awareness, to be mindful, is so essential when it comes to living a more fulfilled and satisfied life. Likewise, being able to see other people objectively. You know, we tend to see other people as almost the enemy. It's like as if everyone poses some kind of threat, particularly, as I said, if we've experienced some sort of trauma in our past. And that's not the case. I mean, we need to learn how to separate people from behaviors, because oftentimes when somebody lashes out, or when somebody does something that pisses us off, it's because they are suffering in some way, shape or form. And again, the reason we're so reactive to it is because we're suffering in some way, shape or form. And this tends to play out in our relationships, in our day-to-day life. Whereas if we can recognize our own suffering, recognize another person's suffering, and just see the souls and the hearts underneath all of that, then life would be so much easier, so much more peaceful, so much more contented for all involved. And again, this is something that can be learned. I mean, it's something that I'm working with people on a day-to-day basis, and seeing fantastic results. So if you would like to become more aware of your internal experience, if you would like to develop skills like emotional resilience, emotional regulation, if you would like to learn how to meditate, how to become more mindful, and how to become a kinder, more compassionate person for both yourself and other people, get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie.